Hello students, today we are starting with a topic evolution. In this heading, we will discuss about the evolution, what is evolution, how it is important to know about the evolution and what are the impact of evolution. So let's start with the term evolution. Evolution is the change in the inherited characteristics of a biological population over a successive generation. What does this line mean? It means that changement is being seen in generation after generation in a population give rise to a evolution. Let's suppose we take an example of our family. We suppose have a grandfather, and when we move here then we have a father, and after that we have a son. Okay, now think about the smartness. If we have a great grandfather also, imagine that now in the today's era we are using a mobile phone. Okay, this mobile phone contains lot of features. Do you think that your grandfather or a great grandfather are being able to utilize a phone as proper as we are using? No. Why? There is a changement in the intellectual. What does it mean? That is the smartness of thinking, learning is not so better in this era as compared with in this era. As proper we can handle computers, laptop, mobiles in today, you cannot found that your father will be handled as friendly as we are using it. As similarly, our grandfather is also not been able to use such type of instruments in a simple or familiar way. So this is the advanced changement. These changement which is seen is basically considered as evolution. Let's suppose another example we will take. You will take look at the photos of your parents. Photos. Okay. You have a picture of your great grandfather also. You have a picture of your father also, and you have a picture of yourself. You just watch a picture daily and look. There you found there is a large changement in the facial and the physiologic of the with your father. Similarly, there is a large changement in the physiology or your morphology changement in your grandfather. What does it indicate? That your grandfather's face is not as similar with your father. It is unidentical. Similarly, your face is not identical with you. This indicates that there is a changement will be seen. This changement, that is changement which is are being seen in you, whether it is intellectual changement or a morphological changement. Such changement does not available earlier also. That is called evolution. When the thing which is not present in our past, which is found in present, that is called an evolution. Okay, now what is the evolutionary process? Evolutionary process give rise to a diversity at the every level of biological organization, including species, individuals, organism, molecules such as DNA and protein. As we know that we always say we are the our forefathers are apes. We basically could say that our forefathers are apes. So the human being are being found from developed from the apes. Similarly, if you go on the monkey, it is also developed from the apes. If we go on chimpanzee, they are also developed from apes. But this chimpanzee, monkey or human being are similar? No, not at all. But their ancestors are same. So This evolutionary process gives a diversity. That diversity means differences give a different type of organism. One organism gives a chimpanzee, another organism gives a rise to a monkey, and another gives a human being. Such changement which is found in the apes give rise to a different type categories of organism, and this give rise to a diversity. So the evolutionary process always give rise to a different categories of organism and different varieties. Now let's get back to our past, and first we have to discuss about the life, how the life is originated on earth. The origin of life is considered a unique event in the history of universe. So as we are living on earth, we are living on earth, and on earth there are a lot of organisms you found, plant, animal. You go on the plant, you found a plant, animals, and microbes. So which will develop first? First there is a formation of earth, and where the earth is found, earth is present in universe. Universe is considering of planets, planet sun with 8 planets. Okay, sun with 8 planets considered together as a universe. So first will evolve is a universe. So there is a evolution of universe. So which will develop first, which will the formation is always with a universe. The universe is about 20 million year old. That is, the formation of a universe is about 20 million year old from today. It includes a huge cluster of galaxies, and the galaxies which we belong the Milky Way, which contain a stars. In each galaxy there are different types of stars and clouds, okay, and the gases as well as the dust. The Big Bang theory explains the origin of universe. We have found how the universe is formed. This will be explained in the Big Bang theory. We will discuss later, which states that the universe arose from a huge explosion of unimaginably, in physical term, a large entity. That means this is a big large entity which is being broken into pieces, and these broken pieces give rise to a small entities, and such small entities are basically our planets, stars, and other galaxies. Okay, so basically when a large piece of things are broken down, this gives rise to a small elements, and these small elements are considered as a nothing. So what the Big Bang theory explains, it explains that there is a large amount, bigger or huge explosion is being seen in a large entity which is broken down into smaller entities, and these smaller entities give rise to planets or stars. As the universe expanded, similarly the universe is, firstly these elements are very closer to each other. After evolution they are start moving apart, and this apartness gives us distant, make them distant from each other, and this distant area, and as regular their rotation revolution give rise to our universe. As the universe expanded, the temperature decreases and hydrogens and heliums are formed. So when this universe is expanding, the temperature of this universe is start decreasing, and as the temperature is decreasing, there is an evolution of hydrogen gases and helium gases. So the best example is that, suppose you boil a mixture of things. Let's suppose we take a water. In water we put a sugar, or we put some another thing like tea leaves. After boiling, what happens? It gets heated up. Now we close the gas burner and leave it for cooling. What happened? The temperature is start reducing down, the temperature is going down, and finally it cools. But When the temperature is falling down, there is an evolution of gases. The gas is coming out. So as the gas comes out and out, that means that there is release of energy from the water to the external environment, and this energy is released with the help of some gases also. So in similar way, when the temperature of the universe is reducing, when there is a reduction or a decrease in the temperature, then there is a evolution of gases. So when the temperature universally decreases, then only two gases is that time is being evolved, and that gas is hydrogen and helium. When the gases are condensed, that is when these mixture of gases comes closer under a gravitational form, the galaxies present day a universe. So what happened? These gases which are evolved, like suppose this is our just wait, okay, let's okay let's suppose this is our earth. When it is cooling down, then there is different gases are evolved, different gases comes out. Okay, when these gases comes out, they are surrounding in our earth, but they are too much far away. They are surrounding around the earth, but too much far. When this earth is cooled down or becomes in a normal, then there is a formation of gravity. This gravity attracts these gases towards itself. Okay, and finally these gases come closer to the earth, and these gases which come closer to the earth give rise to a atmosphere. Okay, gives rise to a atmosphere. Okay. In solar system, the Milky Way, this is the galaxy in which the earth is supposed to be is present. In this Milky Way, the earth was supposed to be formed in the 4.5 billion year ago. That is, the formation of earth is about 4.5 billion year ago. Now we have discussed some about the earth. What is basically the earth is? Earth was formed for 4.1 billion year before. From today, we go back to 4.5 billion year, there is a formation of earth, that the earth is formed. When the earth is, how the earth, at that time, the 4.5 billion year, the earth is a molten hot ball which releases, start cooling, and when it is start cooling, it releases some gases, and these gases are in the form of water vapor, methane, ammonia and carbon dioxide. So when the earth has been formed from a broken part of the huge large entities, this is very hottest in that condition, and they start cooling. When they are cooling, there is a release of gases from there. So there is a release of gases, because if the gas will not release, then how the temperature can reduce down. So the decrease in the temperature give rise to the release of the gases. So finally, in the beginning, the water vapor is being released as a gas, methane, ammonia and carbon dioxide. The UV rays from the sun broke up water into hydrogen and oxygen. Water is made up of H2O. Okay. So what happened? When H2O combines, the UV light is formed. UV light is present in sun. It reaches to the earth, and in between there is a layer of water vapor, and these water vapor releases a broken down the hydrogen and oxygen. That is, the water is being broken down out hydrogen and oxygen. That is a nascent oxygen. This nascent oxygen combines each other to form a oxygen. So finally, the formation of oxygen in the atmosphere is due to the broken up of water molecule to a UV rays. So in the early stage of the formation of atmosphere around the earth, there is no oxygen is formed. But when the UV rays are being reaching to the earth from the sun, these UV rays breaks the water molecule into hydrogen gases and oxygen gases, and these oxygen gases fulfill the in the atmosphere. The lighter the oxygen gas escapes from the surface, while the oxygen combined with other compounds to form methane, ammonia, to form water and carbon dioxide. So hydrogen is very lighter, it can escape easily, but oxygen is very heavier. So it is still present in the atmosphere and it starts combining with the other elements like carbon. It combines with carbon to form a carbon dioxide, that is C plus O2 give rise to CO2, and this gas again released in the atmosphere and finally give rise to the formation of carbon dioxide. As water vapor cooled, the water fell. So what is as a rain? What happened when we boil a water? The water vapor start evaporating, and this evaporating is due to because that is the heat is present. When it is present in the form, heat is present in the water, it start evaporating to the atmosphere. But when these gases are cooled down, that is the energy, heat energy present inside these gases are released out, then what happens, they condense in a droplet of water, and these droplets are fallen back in the form of rain on the earth, and these rains helps to form oceans and water bodies. So in the beginning there is a evaporation of water vapor from the earth. When these water vapors goes up and finally cools down, these water vapor convert into a water droplets, and then water droplets very heavier, it fallen down on the earth in the form of rain, and these rains water helps to give rise to a formation of oceans and water bodies. From oxygen, ozone layer is formed. We know that what is the formula of ozone layer, that is O3. Okay, when O3, this O3 is formed by the, when one oxygen combined with other oxygen, it gives rise to O2. This O2 is further combined with oxygen, give rise to O3. And when the three oxygen combine each other like in this way, this compound is basically a mist of gas which is basically a ozone, and this ozone is form a layer around the earth atmosphere. So then after that, when all the atmosphere is developed, then life starts appearing, and this appearance of life is called origin of life. It is estimated that about the first life arrived on this earth is about 500 million years after the formation of earth. When the earth is formed completely, then after 500 million years has been taken up to form to start a life, that is appearance of the life on earth, which is called a origin of life. That is about 4 billion years ago the life is being formed. That is, the earth is formed of 4.5 billion ago. This gives rise to the formation, cooling down of earth, and the formation of atmosphere takes 0.5 billion or 500 million years. When all the atmosphere develops, then the life start originating on earth. So there are different theories on the origins of earth, that is the theory of special creation, theory of panspermia or cosmozoic theory, theory of spontaneous generation, and theory of chemical evolution. So there are more theories, but these four theories are very important regarding your examination point of view. So first of all, we will discuss the first theory, that is theory of special creation. What does it mean by special creation? There are some scientists or the people, and especially the conventional religious, those who are very religious people, they says that the life is originated by a god. Conventional religious literature talks about the theory of special creation, according to which God, the supernatural being, created the earth, light, plant, and animals. So, what does the special creation is take? If we go on the religious book like Gita, Quran, Gita belongs to Hinduism, Quran belongs to Islam or Muslimism, or you go to the Bibles, This belongs to a Christian. All these books contain the origin of life. So what does it say? The one day the God, that is a supernatural power, whether we call it Allah, Bhagwan or God, these one day created the earth, and that day, after some time they start creating a living organism. That is, all the plant, animals and microbes and earth, all these are created by supernatural power. There is no scientific proof. So there is no scientific methods of evolution. This theory suggests that all living organisms, that is plant, animals or whatever we see today, are being created by God or supernatural power. The diversity of life is from always the same since the time of the creation and will remain same in the future also. The theory also says that there is a diversity. Diversity means a different type of life. Different means the life, if you consider the animal, there are different type of animal: tiger, lion, leopard, deer, goat, sheep, human being, monkey, rat, all are the different type of animals. These all together we call a diversity of animals. If we go on the plant, that is neem, tulsi, mango tree, coconut tree, these are a different type of plants, and we consider all together these plants, then call it diversity of plant. So what this theory says, that these are different type of animals and plants are present from the first day of the formation of life on the earth, and it is estimated that the earth is about 4,000 year old. That is 4,000 year earlier the God has created the earth, and after some days they have created a life in the form of plants and animals, and in same different diversity and in same different level, that is in different types, which are present today is also present in the earlier when the earth is formed, and is always be present in future till the earth is alive. That is, there are no extinction or there is no evolutions of the new species according to the theory of special creation. All these ideas underwent drastic changes during 19th century. That is, before 19th century it is believed that the earth is created by supernatural, but as the science is developing, the scientists start functioning or thinking how the earth is developed, and these theories are start rejected. That is, the evolution of earth comes arrive. Charles Darwin showed that the existing life forms share similarities to varying degrees among themselves, and also with those life forms that exist millions of years ago. Charles Darwin is a very great scientist. He has said that existing life, that is the life which are present today, is form the sheer similarities with the varying degrees. That is, we have a similarities with the other organisms also, and also those which are present earlier but now are absent. For example, let's suppose we take example of a dinosaur or a human being. What is the similarity between a dinosaur and human being? The most important similarity between a dinosaur and human being is that both the organism eat through mouth, and the mouth contains a teeth, and teeth also offer similar shape like canine, molar, premolar or incisor. Okay, while the numbers of the canine, molar, premolar, incisors are different in dinosaurs as compared with human being, but the chewing, grazing, all these things are being held with the help of teeth only. So we have a similarity with the dinosaurs if we compare that they also eat with the help of teeth, and we also eat with the help of teeth. Even today there is no dinosaur, that the existence of dinosaur is not found. So we have some similarities, but we have a lot of dissimilarities also. Okay, now we compare with the present. If we compare ourselves with the monkey, monkey also walk with its leg and do perform all its function with the help of hands. Similarly, we also walk with leg, we perform all the function with the help of hand, but we are not exactly 100% similar with a monkey. We are human being and monkey is monkey. The monkey will never called as a human being, and human being never called as a monkey, but we have some similarities. So Charles Darwin always says that the existing lives and the present life have some similarities with each other, which helps in the sharing their similarities, while these sharings after generation give that drastic change, and these drastic change give rise to an evolution of a new species. The extinction also took place during a different phase of geological history. He also explained that some organisms which are present in the beginning of the earth are not found today. So the extinction is also been present on this earth. That is the best example is the dinosaur. Dinosaur you will found there is a lot of dinosaurs which are present when the earth was evolved, or in the about 4000 of 2000 or 2000.5 million years ago, but now there is no dinosaurs. So there are a lot of organisms which are present earlier which are not being present today. Archaeopteryx are those like reptiles who have a level of flying, which are present in the earlier days was not found in today. So extinctions has also been seen in the geological history of the earth. Now we move on the second theory, that is theory of panspermia or cosmozoic theory. Some scientists believe that life comes on Earth from other planet or other sources. That means there is some other planet, like we have a 8 planet: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Earth, Neptune. These are the different types of planets which are surrounding our Earth and have a rotate revolving around the sun. So the some scientists believe that the life on the Earth is not exactly evolved from Earth. They come from some other planet. Like this, look at it, these are the life which are coming from other planet and get evolved on, get settled on the Earth, and after settle they start evolving and get developed. So the life is comes from the other Earth, other planet, and get settled over here. In Greek philosopher, early Greek philosophers, what they say? They say that the spores or the pansperm came on Earth along with meteors. They might have evolved into present day form. That is, there are some pansperm which is while similar with the sperms or spores, that is the micro form of microbial activities formed, comes from the other planet with the help of meteors. Meteors is the fallen stars, we can say that, with the attached with that meteors and fallen on the earth, and they get settled, and the reason of their settlement is that they get a favorable condition on earth which has to do in the development of them, and these development give rise to a different type of organism. So basically we have discussed the second theory of panspermia or cosmozoic theories. But these two theories are not being acceptable because there are a lot of doubts, as well as there are a lot of questions arises, and the answers of these questions will be cleared in the third and the fourth theories by different scientists. But these two theories are so important because it is the early theories which have been give the idea of the different scientists to think about the evolution. Because earlier days, in the time of the 16th or the 15th century, nobody is thinking about how the earth or the life has been evolved. But these two theories help the people to think how the life is being evolved, by which there are two different theories, like a theory of spontaneous generations and theory of chemical evolution gives up arises, and which clear cuts the demarcation of the evolution of life on earth. So today we are ending up with these two theory, and the next story, that is evolution, that is theory of spontaneous evolution, we will start in the next lecture. I hope you can understand these theories and go thoroughly through this lecture, and try to understand and read the books thoroughly. And if any doubts occur, please kindly reply me so that we can clear your doubts and help you to sort out your problems. Thank you very much for hearing this lecture. All the best. Bye.